start the overview, and then we'll kind of, hopefully you guys did not get played today. There was a clear sign not to do some things, and we'll go over that to make sure you guys actually, it's the same setup for tomorrow. So you should not mess up twice in a row. We talked about this for what, 2 weeks now. We had this nice channel. We were targeting this bottom here. In the POC, they went to the July value area high, developing value area low of August. Now they did pretty much what we talked about right on Sunday watch list. If you guys recall, we said if they crack 70, go to 60, whatever that was, the 51, I'm sorry, go to 51, which was our daily halfback, right? If you guys remember, and also July high, and all of that executed, right? And then ultimately we said they want to go to 29. They came very close to that. It was Friday's orb high, and it was also the, I don't know where I moved it. It was July high, right? And they came back very close to it, maybe a penny or a few points here in between, and then they ran, right? Oddly enough, as I was driving back today, can't speak about it because somebody's next door next to me. But when I was driving back, I took a long here on the retest right before the spike. I took a long right here. Does anyone have an idea why would I do that? Just to make sure you guys are following. So this is towards the end of the day, right before close. I was like, oh my God, they're about to give it to us. And I was like, well, I'm going in here. Why take a long here?
Hey, Shorty,
Why?
did you start already? Oh, sorry.
Yep. So why was that a long here? Does anyone have an idea? Why was this a super nice long?
Wasn't it they tested the bottom? They didn't want to do business in the bottom.
Yeah,
Retest retest the POC and then go to the value area high.
yeah, that was exactly it. So if you think about it, we talked about, I don't know if you guys recall, we talked about this being our top distribution, top value. Do you guys remember in that from Sunday? And we said if we go to the bottom and then they reject this is going to be big because most likely we're going to hit new all-time highs, which is most likely what's going to happen, right? They came here and then look at this zone here. Pay attention here. They consolidated here, they went off. They consolidated, they went off, but we didn't make what? If we crack this, what would that tell you about this supply?
Rejected.
That means, man, you're putting in the lower low, right? That supply has a lot of access. There's a lot of people willing to sell. There's an inventory imbalance. What does that mean? Inventory imbalance. How would you relate that to your life? And give me a scenario.
Is that question for anybody?
Yeah, anyway.
So I have too many shoes, right?
Yep.
And I'm not going to be buying anymore because I have so many. So nobody's going to be buying if they have a lot of shoes, right?
You're gonna try to do what with those shoes?
Yeah, lower the prices of them.
Or you're gonna try to sell as much as you can, right? You're gonna say, give me $100 for these. If nobody says and you have a bunch, then you're gonna say, well, let me sell it for 90. Just go to a garage sale this weekend and practice what you're doing here. I'm telling you, it works. Especially if they have prices on the tables or somewhere. Just go over there and be like, hey man, I'll give you $5 for something that's 50. And they're gonna give you that weird look and like you're not okay. And then you're like, okay, I can do 15. And then they're going like, okay, let's do 20. And now the question is that a good discount for you? Is it valuable for what you're trying to buy? And same here. If there's an excess in inventory or imbalance in inventory, that means there's too much inventory sitting here. It's almost as if you go to, I don't know, any store, right? And you see, let's say, I don't know, stores you guys go to. Let's say Academy Sports. I don't know if that's something national or not, but it's a store, it has a bunch of clothes in there, a bunch of crap. So if you think about this, right, if this is the overhead inventory and there's a bunch of stuff, let's just say bikes for kids, there's thousands of these bikes lined up above the shelf. What do you think the sale is going to be for November 25th?
the bikes.
The
on sale.
bikes. Yeah, the bikes are most likely going to be on sale. You take the item that you have the most of, and it takes, there's logic to it in physical stores, right? Because the cubic feet storage and all that, you take that into account. You're like, oh yeah, we have to get rid of these bikes because they're not moving and so on, and you drop it. Something minimal, right? And let's say we have, you have 1,000 here. You have 1,000 bikes in here. Well, and if there's 2,000 people that want to get a bike, or is everybody want to get a bike, or are you just going to get one wheel of the bike? Well, there's going to be some push to get the bike, right? People are going to fly through the doors to get the bike. Does that make sense? But not everybody will get it unless there's more supply for the demand. And when the supply is strong, that means that basically those aggressive buyers that hit market buy here, they get absorbed by that heavy seller. And if this heavy seller is sitting here, let's say he is present and he has a lot more supply than what triggered this, then this supply from here should break and make lower lows. But right now, the market is in what?
Imbalance.
Yeah, so let's just make sure everybody understands. If this was our balance before, I don't like that they added this drop down here on this. It just makes no sense. Send them a message. So if this was a balance before, right, and we were trading here, and then they auctioned lower, and they went lower, right? We know where they bounced and why they bounced. Then they brought it back in, and they're like, hey, we're back inside now. And then you can split this zone into multiple, right? Nobody says you can't do that. There's a clear distinction between the zones, the top and the bottom. I'm pretty sure if you grab the fibs here, it's just going to be a 50%, somewhere around right here, right in the middle. So once they reclaim this level that I was watching, right, I said that's a no-brainer. You're talking about certain setup at the end of the day, and market profile was giving you something right before that happened. Does anyone know what that is?
The spike.
Spike key was present. As you guys know, our statistician is back, free. She did the analysis on this, and she would tell you that what? Free.
66% of the time when that L makes a higher high, you're going to get a spike.
You're gonna get a spike. So when I saw that, right? So now if you think about this, this is your day here. You have massive access in A period. When we went below the halfback, right? Remember, we said if they go below the halfback and they regain it, do you guys recall from Sunday? Does anyone remember what we said? If it goes below and regain that 50, where's the most likely they were going to go? Go back and you'll see that we talked about this 70. And we talked if you lose 70, most likely you're going to go to 50. So here they went to it, and then basically that they directly came back to it, and that was actually in 3 minutes. And take a look at this. They went here, right? They made equal highs and went a little bit over, and then they brought it back in, and I was like, man, this is my opportunity to pay off the gift. And that's where I got in a little bit size, and I was able to catch it. I didn't hold it all the way, but I was pretty good. Made decent money in here. The setup that we were talking about is that each period represents how many minutes?
30.
30 minutes. So this period, that means from 3 to 3:30, the L period, and why we say it was a high setup for a really high potential to make money towards the end of the day, is that this period, L, I'm just going to kind of repeat it, what we just discussed. L period made highest high. So if you go on 30 minutes on candles, you'll see it now. Just give it a second. Okay. So now you will see, right? Each candle represents that 30 minutes, as you guys see, right? L period, and this 30-minute candle made the highest high for the day. When that happens, there's about 66% chance that the closing period between 3:30 and 4 is gonna spike. And spike means the M period, as you guys see. I'm just gonna hide candles at this point. We don't need them. This M period just represents a period in time, meaning from 3:30 to 4 is going to make a spike. And spikes are to be validated or invalidated the next day. So right now, what would this be called here? L made higher high, which is indicating that M is most likely going to go higher. And in this case, it did. So what does this line represent here? What do we call this?
Spike base.
Yeah, this is our spike base. So now the question will be, and it was on your quiz, how do we play the spike base? Tell me the setup for tomorrow. What is it that we're trading and how are we playing it?
If they open above the spike base, that's semi-bullish. And if they open above the spike end, that's super bullish. Is that right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's correct. I would say semi-bullish here, if open or option. The key is to hold spike base for the bulls. Is that fair? As long as they hold the spike base, let's say we open here and we come back for a retest, that's a go ahead, go long. If we open below it, but not too far, let's say we don't open somewhere here, you don't want to go long when we arrive to the spike base. But if we open somewhere below it, right, let's say here in between this, open below bullish spike base and regain it. When I say not failing immediately, how does that look like in terms of, TPOs? Would it look like something like this, where it goes over and then it rejects and you have access on the top? That would mean a clear rejection, right? If we go above and you're building value and then they come back here, that's a decent long. If we tap that level and you see instant sell, and let's say on 3 minutes, whatever you're trading, you change the behavior, you change the character, and there's a high chance that that's a pretty strong base and it's being invalidated. But until we crack that spike base, you remain bullish. If we open now on above the spike end, that's your market telling you we're just going to explode higher. Like extreme bullish, market wants to continue. If I can spell. Does this make sense for everyone? This is a setup that you guys should get familiar with. It does happen quite a bit, and it's pretty good, right? And today, you guys had a spike. We had a bearish spike yesterday, right? This was our bearish spike yesterday at 63.5. You guys remember? So once you saw something happened here that was giving you a clue to stop being bearish even before the spike, what is it?
The F period?
F period is definitely one of them. And can you elaborate more so people understand why F?
Well, it was like a change of character and it went back up over the spike from the day before.
Yep. And then, this is the only period here that made higher highs. But where was the value focused on before the F period? If you were to grab between here and here,
450?
and don't extend it, the value was focused, on volume profile was somewhere around here and here on TPO. You guys agree? This is where majority of your TPOs are, right here. Does that make sense? Above you peak twice and then basically you have a ledge here, B, C, D, E, F periods, right? You have a flat top. So this is your value. And then the F happens, and what happens to the value?
Moves up.
So the value shifted higher, right? When value shifts higher, what are the three directional things that you got to check to see if it's validated? How do you know the move higher or lower is validated? What are the three things that you have to look at?
If it holds like 3 5-minute candles above the level,
Mm-hmm.
retest long.
Okay, is there anything else?
Time, volume,
Okay, volume, placement of value, and what's the third one?
Time spent.
Say it again.
The time spent there.
Yeah, that'll be value, right? So value shifted higher, right? So we went from here, the value shifted higher with the F period initiating that, and then we held, and I period was the rejection, a lower value, right? Meaning when I'm go here now, and let me just go in 5 minutes and you guys will see it. When we came back here, they said, nope, we don't want to trade in this value anymore. As soon as they reclaimed that, that was your signal to close all your shorts. So we have the three things that you have to pay attention to see if the move is correct, right? Is value width. Do you guys remember this now?
Yep.
So why is the value width important? Meaning, is it narrow? Is it wide? Why is that important?
The participation.
Yeah, the participation, right? Well, now I would say it's probably the same between the two, right? I don't see a drastic difference, right? It seems like that this was mainly driven by short term here. Besides this access in the A period, right? That's telling us that somebody else stepped in once we went below that halfback. Somebody else was involved, and then here again they stepped in, and tweezer bottom, if you want to call it, on 5 minutes, reclaimed that zone, and then they went. K period made another higher high. They're above the bearish spike right at this point, and then they got in inside the value, right? They got in inside the value to the prior day. So now this is your value of the prior day right here. So now just pay attention, right? They came in here and they said, screw this value, right? And the M period, they said, no, we don't want to trade here. We want to trade higher. And they basically went to that VPOC here that they had, and that's where kind of they rejected. But there was a lot of signs. Market was giving you a lot of clues that they're trying to shift higher. At least here, there was a lot of information being generated. Does it make sense? The only thing that doesn't check out in this move is what?
I period.
Okay, but what about the bottom? Did we get a lot more volume on this push right here? So this push happened right here. How much more volume did we get right here? Did we get a lot more volume?
Not
No.
much.
Not really, guys. So the volume, as you move up in an auction, and if it doesn't go with it, what does it tell you about participation there?
Slowing down.
Yeah, you're losing participation, right? So it's almost like you guys when you bid for the $100 bill that I auction, right? We start off super heavy. Everybody wants a $100 bill for $5. But as the price gets to 95, you guys are like, ah, man, I'm paying 95 bucks for a $100 bill. And as you get closer to 100, you know the monetary value of it. But here, if there's no aggressive buyers, not new blood to take us over, we can stall. And that's kind of what happened here. This is a short cover rally, and we stalled right the next day. They got rejected, we sold off, and now they recovered again. We're back in the zone, and there's very high chance we're going to be at August that value high, dependent on opening tomorrow. And the three opening types, I would say just focus on two. As long as you're above spike base, remain bullish. If you reject that and you don't reclaim it quickly, stay bearish. Most likely we're going to go to the 70 area. But on a higher time frame, I just want to make sure you guys are following what we talked about Sunday. When we zoom out a little bit, right? Pay attention to volume now on the right. I'm going to extend it so you guys can kind of hit you in your eyes. What is this telling you? Like we have this massive node here, if you guys see it. like this node on the top. You guys see it now?
Yeah.
With orange. What is that telling you about price action at the top? The higher the node, what does that mean?
Higher acceptance.
Higher acceptance, that means there's a lot of traders. That means there's a two-sided activity being developed there, right? That means there's a lot of stuff being exchanged hands here. The more you have it, more likely that was the fair price. Such like a POC, you see a massive node, that's the fair price of this, whatever we are looking at here. Does that make sense? So there's going to be a little bit of nasty price action here, as you guys can tell, right? And I don't think it was very nice how they traded here. You can expect the same thing to be done here as well. But once they break this, let's say they break this, we're going for, 29, and then I would say ultimately, how would you find the next closest target without using these very, very large fibs? Since we're at all-time highs, how would you guys find the next target? We don't have any reference points to the left, so what do? One, you can use fibs, right? We can grab this latest swing high and go to the swing low, and then we can change that to extensions. And now you see that about 40 to 29, there's multiple fibs lined up. And the next one is, can't tell if it's 580, 590. So most likely this would be the zone where they're going. If we were to crack this, that would be the zone. Another way to go about this is this way. When you have consolidations like this one here, is there a trick you can do to find where the next target is going?
You measure it and go like half up or do that ABCD thing.
Yeah, you
Really?
can definitely. So you can do the measurement, right? You can take the measure of this and go here. That means 39 points. So now I take 39 points from the here. And guess what? We're going to be in that zone. If we crack this, we're going in this zone. You can also do this with fibs, right? If you grab top to bottom, and then if you have some saved, you can do these standard deviations, and you will see here, there it goes, 37. So that's where it falls, and that's where the 39.25 is, right on the money. There's a very, very high chance if we break this zone, we're going to be here tomorrow. Is anyone lost?
Does NVIDIA have earnings tomorrow, Shorty?
It does, yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I personally just can't go along. I mean, I understand the whole hype, but this is not a spot for long on the video. There's some buying right here, right? I'm pretty sure they're going to run it, right? If I was to think logically, and what, let's say some other folks won this in politics, I think there's a very high chance that this just takes off. I won't play it, right? I do not play earnings, but you guys are welcome to waste your money. Yeah, this is. Did anyone start any positions here on CMG? So it does have a good chance that it can drop here to this level here. Ideally, if you're to get a super nice entry on CMG, if they can give this to us, I'll buy a lot more. I just started small lots here, $15,000, $10,000 buying. But if it loses this, it'll go here, and then I'll really load up on this level. Snap, I didn't have a chance to look at it today, but it's about to do what we needed it to do, and I think it's almost ready. Yep. I think tomorrow is the day for Snap calls. It's not the best low. I just wish this wick, meaning that this went up to here, and then we had like a little hammer, something like this. That type of low would have excited me more, right? If they did it this way, but that's okay. This is, I like the setup. They swept the lows. I wish they did a little bit more. I'm gonna go in for some calls tomorrow on Snap, okay? Gonna be targeting 10, probably a year out for 10 and 15 calls. This is a perfect opportunity for a buyout, in my opinion. This is more like I'm gonna put $5,000 and forget about it. If it hits, this is one of those that, and it's done crazy moves. I've seen this where it did crazy moves. Like I looked at the chart. I mean, you're talking about a move that goes from 17 to 8 in 4 weeks. So it can move. I know it can move. So that, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go in on this one, just FYI, tomorrow. So we'll see how it plays out. All right. Well, now tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so I'm gonna be in the morning with her, and then I'll hop on and trade with you guys. But the plan is I'm just
Have a
gonna.
happy birthday, man.
Thank you, Cuban. And we're just gonna drink
Thank
coffee,
you.
eat some cake, and then I'll hop on and trade.
Thanks,
All right.
Shorty.
Thanks
Good
a
night.
lot.
Alrighty. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right.
Thank you.